we're sitting on a volume wall. Can you I think we talked about what you can do with a volume wall last year. What does it actually take to run a volume wall? Like what's happening behind the scenes here?
Patience.
Yes, so there's a good 20 feet of racks behind me that is facilitating a lot of this, including all the camera cuts. But, I think what's fun about what we're doing today is we're doing two perspectives for two cameras. It's kind of like a deck of cards, right? We're actually shuffling it together. So basically on a single LED wall, we can render two things simultaneously to two independent cameras. And it's great because you can see it rendered in real time all the time. Especially in broadcast, it's good because a director can see what they're cutting to before they go.
Yeah, so sitting here, I'm actually looking at, I'm seeing everything twice. The cameras aren't seeing it, but, if ever anybody out there, you can see the difference on the TVs over here. That's what the camera's seeing?
Exactly. That's what's going to the records. And I think the other thing is, a lot of times this sort of thing would just be shot in green. The talent can be immersed in that, and they can live in the world that they're creating.
That's like the new world of filmmaking, right? That's like what James Cameron's doing. That's what they did, John Chu did with Wicked and things like that, immersing the actors and saying this is what it's going to look like when you're in this world, right? And
they're doing a lot of that with previs. We're not yet doing this type of workflow on like a TV or film set. It's a little more complicated, so it keeps a couple restraints on the DP. I don't think we've quite overcome a lot of that. It's happening a lot in broadcast. But I think the first place we're going to hit on a TV or film set is there are a few of these red cameras that can do this technology, but inside of one camera. And so you get a frame of green and you get a frame rendered with the content. So let's say you have a daily, but if you need to go back and really finalize it later, you get the benefit of the reflections, you get the benefit of the interaction, but you have room in post to do a much better render than you can do in real time on set.
So it's like a whole new set of metadata that you can kind of work with on the back end. Crazy.
How do you guys keep up with that? Is it your network? Is it going to events like this? How do you know about the advancements in technology so you can utilize them?
It's a little bit of both. We go to we talk to people, but also, there are a handful of companies that are at the cusp of this technology and they are making it.
What's the size of your team usually like for something like this, too? If you say, how much time did you need to set this up, and how big of a team do you need to actually do this well?
I mean, interestingly enough, for better or worse, William just engineered this entire damn thing, and Mario over there. Then we had the whole freelance crew come in and build the walls and put all the racks together and all that sort of stuff. Usually, when we're on set, we'll have a team of 4 or 5 on a pre-built volume that's ready to go.
And then for content, it just depends on how much it is. But this one specifically, we were able to do with our, a team of 3 or 4 folks. Really, it was Eve, Francesca, and then building the actual content. And then they were working with the interns. So, you're going to see birds fly by. You're going to see fans moving. And so there were some of these little sprints that the interns were doing along in the scene to help build this out.
And you'll see little Easter eggs like Raptor, or what is it, Shitty Rigs the Game?
Yeah, we got Rap Drinks the Game.
It reminded me of Pixar when they do little Easter eggs, but we're all the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's fun about it.
Media Popcorn's right up there.
Oh yeah, I see the Media Popcorn poster.
Can you guys sitting here? Sitting here, I'm seeing a little bit of flicker. Can you guys explain why?
Yeah, so
you finish your whiskey.
Done.
Ben already finished it.
Elijah 18, man. It's quite good. So we are sending, each camera is capturing 24 frames, drop 24. We're sending up to the wall at 48. So think of it as one camera is seeing 1, the other camera is seeing 2, 3, 4. They're offset, right? But our eyes, we get to see both. Because we're not
global shutters.
Camera A, camera B like Wayne's World. So
this is the new red blue 3D.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're actually going further than that because when you do 2398 times 2, it's actually really jarring. And so what we're doing is we're rendering at 2398, we're sending to the processor 2 signals at 48 or drop 48, and then the wall's actually at drop 96 if that's even a thing. Yeah, so
in theory, could you add 2 more images into this?
100%, yeah.
So normally when we're doing this, we're at 60, and we're doing this at 240.
So 4 cameras total.
And this has been a workflow that we've been like, oh, we should figure this out, and we decided to do it yesterday.
Shitty rigs.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. But yeah, this is, we do 4 cameras like up at ESPN. The studio up there is 240 or drop 240.
So I guess this is just to do this kind of workflow. Does it have to be like generated in Unreal, or can you use a plate?
You could use a plate. Right now, we could have, if we had the right setup, right, we could have green behind us, we could have a blue behind us, we could have a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and we could have Brandon snorting meth.
Does,
I don't know.
I'll invite you over. It's fine.
Did I do that wrong?
It's if I sat here for a really long time, I would probably be overstimulated by the flicker. So when you're changing to between green and blue and the Eiffel Tower and outer space or meth or whatever you want, like, would this image become even more chaotic, I guess,
It would probably feel about the same as it does now. The higher the frame rate per signal, the more natural it is to the eye because it's so fast that you don't see it. So at 48, it's one way, 50, and then 60, it gets better and better. But it doesn't get worse. It almost feels like a bunch of images of opacity overlapped on each other. But the actual feeling of this flicker doesn't get any worse.
In theory, I guess, what's the most you could do on this? If you're doing 240, like, is that standard?
Technically, these walls can go to 250. So if we were over in, merry old England, we could do 5 cameras at 50. I wouldn't go any further than that, although you can do up to 10 cameras technically. It would be a nightmare to the eye, and I wouldn't actually do it in a practical sense.
Do one of you want to speak to, like, the kind of lighting we have supplementing this, or should we wait until those vendors come up here?
I mean, the lighting on this, we kept it pretty simple. A lot of times we'll do image-based lighting, IBL, and so we'll sample from the scene, and we'll bring that up onto the lights. But for this one, we are just using some straight standard Cream Source Vortex 8s. We've got a Light Gear Auroras V, and then we did bring in some...
Chauvet film.
What's that?
Chauvet film.
Or is it Kino?
No,
What?
Well, we'll talk about that later. I think the Light Gear is still branded.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
But and then we brought in some mimics as well because they're just kind of fun.
Yeah. So do you have to use a type of light that has this flicker type of?
No, you just have to have a high PWM so that you are hitting the so that you're not finding yourself in a weird place in the frames. And really, there isn't a film light that doesn't already do that, so you're really covered.
There is a whole workflow to sync lights. So if we wanted 2 lighting looks for 2 different frames on the wall, that is absolutely possible.
So then that's flickering too.
100%.
Well, and it's a conversation we're going to have with Cream Source about doing some of that with like they did for Thor. Was it
Love and Thunder?
The one where they're killing gods.
Yeah, Love and
Yeah,
Thunder.
okay.
And this stuff that these guys are doing, I can't remember the name of the group, but it's amazing because they're doing it in a very different way. They, instead of like just trying to render in real time for a bunch of different perspectives so that you have them, what they do is they shoot at a super high frame rate. Their expectation is that they're only going to like have 24 at the end. But let's say they're shooting at 240. They've got 10 different lighting looks synced to every 10th frame. And then in post, they basically have 10 frames that look identical except for the lighting, and then they can pause it between them. So if you can imagine 10 lighting looks where a light's coming from a different place in 360 all the way around, now in post they can actually move the light as they like decide which in the composite of 10 is more strong. They can actually start to like shift the light around in a circle and pick their lighting look in post.
So imagine when you have a lightning bolt, right, on someone's hammer or axe or whatever, and you can actually direct how you want that light to come and reflect off their faces.
It's almost like doing 2 takes at once.
Or 10.
Or 10 takes, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Except at the exact same time with the exact same look, so you're not worried about picking a take. You can actually like blend between them and know that the actor in the frame looks
What's been
exactly
the most
the same.
Link in description? Is that a thing? Link in description?
Link in bio.
Link in bio, is that it?
Bio.
I don't know.
What do you want us to do?
What's been the most complex project you've had to work on? Let's say in like the past year or two.
The most
That you
complex
can
I'd
talk
say
about,
is
maybe.
we cannot talk about. We can't talk about what the project was, but a couple months ago, we were approached about doing a film in which they wanted. It was a conversation about doing some car work, and they wanted to they were going to use our stage, and then they wanted a 360 stage, and then they didn't want a 360 stage, and then about 2 weeks before photography, they wanted a 360 stage.
Is this the one that did you guys shot an entire movie on one of these sets, right?
No, well, that was Daddy-O. We can
Set
talk about
different,
that. That
separate,
was a
okay.
different set. This is a different one.
Daddy-O, Dakota Johnson, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
So what was difficult about that
Madam Web.
set was because they wanted it, we had the gear held, and then
Yeah.
they were like, no, we don't want it. We released all the gear.
Oh, shit.
And so then we had to take down our stage at Zero Space. We had to take down our stage up in Yonkers, and we had to bring all of that plus whatever else we had left, and we shipped some stuff in to build this volume. But at that point, we had to do it in 3 days. And so we imagined what it was going to be. We put it on paper. We built it, and it worked. I don't know how, but it fucking worked.
Pretty awesome.
You know what's
we can talk
crazy?
about it off.
Yeah,
offline
you know what's
too.
crazy about that story? It's like I've had the pleasure of working with both of you, and you two are incredible working under pressure. Like, you guys are, like, I've never seen really. You might lose your cool behind, like, the scenes.
It's the boat shoes.
Yeah.
Ben will
But-
tell you there's many a broken computer mouse.
Oh, I'm sure, but from like a direct report, talking to you guys, like, you guys were always, no matter how weird things got, like, or like, just pressure building from the client, like, you guys were always very even keeled. So
Do you guys work better under pressure, you feel like? When you have more time, is it not your best work?
I think I do. Matt,
I don't know if we're looking for the pressure, but we always run towards the fire, if that makes any sense. Or with a
you
mess
do have
lab,
some
whatever one you want to
tendencies,
say.
yeah.
I mean, Matt does have a fireman look. That's what I'm saying. He fits in every generation.
No. His beard is too long. He can't.
No, I mean, he just has to clean it. Like, it's
Again, it was
wild.
way better in
you're
the 70s.
talking about beards being too long?
I'm not a fireman. I want to jump back a few years. You guys met John and Mike because you used to have a studio across the hall from them.
You can call it a studio.
Yeah, you used to have a hole.
So-
You used to have a closet.
So
but
Matt and I used to have a company called Boom Creative, and we had 8 up lights and like, what was it, 900 disguise servers.
But I heard stories of you guys had a volume wall in there, and I heard stories of you melting graphic cards, or video card. Like, did you used to
That's awesome.
So
how hard?
Definitely didn't happen.
No. Okay.
Ben's
Mike,
like, not to my
Mike
knowledge.
loves hyperbole.
I love it.
Matt's over here just burning evidence.
No, I absolutely love it. No, during the pandemic, I mean, to get real with you, like, we were a small business that did live production, and yes, we were working with very much the same technology we're working with now, but in a very different way. And we had just hit our stride. Like, we did A&E history talks at Carnegie Hall. Like, literally the chairs you two and I are sitting in, like Bill Clinton's ass or Matthew McConaughey's ass is sat in these chairs.
Don't forget
All
W.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't being
All right.
facetious?
No, for real.
No,
Like,
that's
these
real.
were the chairs we used.
I thought you guys were joking when you said I said
No.
what Bill Clinton did.
Like, these were the chairs we used on stage there, and 5 days later, everything
That's
shut
hilarious.
down. And we kind of had a choice to, like, lay off the 2 people we had and do what everybody else did. And everybody was doing these Zoom things, and we were like, this seems lame. We don't want to do this. Like, this doesn't seem great. And so Disguise at the time was developing a lot of this technology, and we had just gotten into the beta program to help develop and, like, be a beta tester for it. And thank God, because we basically were like, you know what? Let's just double down. We all ended up with, like, 2 servers in our bedrooms for 6 months on Zooms together, just trying to figure out how the shit worked. And, I think we got our first job. So March is when everything kind of, like, shut down, because I remember it was a leap year, and it was February 29th at Carnegie. And then late September was our first shoot, and we got paid on that first shoot before we had to shut our doors. Like, we got money just in time to, like, keep going. And then we had happened to be doing it with 4Wall. Like, we were doing it here in their shop, using their gears,
let's
all
rewind
that.
a second. We reached out to Chauvet, and Chauvet was like, I was like, hey, Caroline, can we get that little LED wall? And they sent us 3 pallets, LED walls, lights, and that's what we set up in the shop. That we had a little 10 by whatever, and Tanner and Corey were on that thing, and it was just like, oh, how does this work? What are we gonna do?
That's right. And then we bought a green screen, and the last bit of money we had was for a Stipe camera tracker, and we were like, I guess we're in a bubble. Let's figure this shit out.
And then a couple after we kind of had a proof of concept. I'm not sure if we were drunk or what it was, but we reached out to our partners here. We used to rent from 4Wall before we worked at 4Wall, and we reached out and we're like, hey guys, you got a big empty shop with gear, and we got some bored people. Can we do a thing? And they literally gave us the keys to the building and a golf cart and said,
Always got to have a golf cart.
do what you want,
Yep.
kids.
Yeah, Matt looks like he's got a golf cart.
No, you guys. It was the 4 of us and Ernie, the cleaner, for like a year.
Is Ernie here? Can Bert meet Ernie?
Shout out to Ernie.